often get frustrated when I hear people say, gosh, it's hard, and we put out, these ads and we don't get any women applicants, because the ways to attract and retain women are well known and have been proven via any number of different research methodologies. Make sure when you're recruiting that your roles are, that your ads make it very clear that you welcome diversity, and not just gender diversity, but diversity in all of its other facets. For example, within our business, diversity is one of our 5 key values. And if you don't get any women applying, have a look at what you've done in your recruitment strategy in terms of how you've advertised, where you've advertised, what you've said about it, and go back and try again.
Business, I think, can attract female talent by ensuring a couple of really simple things. So it's ensuring your job advertisements are more inclusive, firstly, and making sure you're tailoring your interview process. May just include, making sure there is a female staff member, preferably in leadership, that's involved in the interview process. Having your own women in leadership roles within the business will naturally attract more females. Participating in mentoring and leadership type programs, as you know, there's a few out there. And really big things like what you're doing now is sharing stories of women who are succeeding across all levels of your organisation. Introducing external networking is a big thing. There's other companies that have got incentivised joint paternity leave, and of course allowing employees to be more flexible and have a good work-life balance, and making sure, not lastly but not leastly, engaging and educating male allies who will be our champions of change. So I think if you did all that, then we would probably be in a good position to try and attract and recruit some really good females.
So for me, it starts with ensuring that the job ads I write are broad and inviting enough to appeal to a diverse range of applicants. We've all heard of the case study that women will only apply for a role if they've ticked 100% of the items on the job ad, and men might apply if they've ticked 50%. So I try to write my job ads intentionally broad, but that's not just to attract women, it's so that I can attract a broader range of people to apply, including those who might not have every single technical requirement ticked off. I think the next thing is then to ensure that we have a 50-50 shortlist for interviews. There's been a heap of research that showed, if you have at least 2 women on a shortlist, you're more likely to end up with a female hire. But for me, 50-50 is the standard. And then I think it's important to counter any natural biases that I have through the interview process. So I make sure I always have a male on the interview panel with me, but also someone who's quite different to me, who can bring a different perspective. So I'd like to bring in someone from the operations, for example, who can really come into that interview process with a different view.
So maybe a certain role has always been this way, but maybe we could think about, why has it always been that way, and could we change that? Could we do something different when it comes to that role? Because if we look at our industry, it has been male dominated, since its inception, which means that, if you're looking for only experience, that somebody has done something before, you're only going to find, a certain group of people who have done that, because historically, it hasn't included as many women. And so if you only think about, you have to have this experience in order to go into this role, or in order to be successful, that becomes a challenge. But if we challenge ourselves to think about, for a specific role, what is really needed in that role, and can somebody from the oil and gas industry, or can somebody from a different industry possess that, and if not, what can we do to bridge that gap? So I think these are some of the challenges that women face, especially in progressing to the top, or to those P&L type roles.